last summer, my friend Taylor was willing to trade his electric drum set for, I forget what game it was. Oh, Red Dead Redemption. It was a new game. It was about $60. Probably wasn't worth the whole drum set, but I got it. And I was like, oh, maybe I can start up that band again. So I messaged Nathan, told him that I just got this drum set. You should call James up and we should get together and jam. And then we did. And first practice was pretty great, even though we didn't accomplish much.
So, Battle Republic, our first song on the EP. I got the idea from listening to a lot of heavy metal 80s music, and our first practice, actually, I brought it over to James, and he helped me turn it into a song. It was just an idea, really, bam, bam, bam,
Like, I remember definitely Nathan showed that. It was our first practice, and it wasn't a difficult song. It was the same notes the whole time. John was doing a rhythm, I joined in. And actually, if you see on that video I was playing the bass because we didn't have a bass player at the time. And John's bass broke, so I had to use my little sister's, which Nathan would end up using at our first gig. And it was so funny because I forgot to bring a regular strap, and he ended up having to play with a little girly blue strap with flowers on it. And it made us look like a joke, but we're not on that subject yet. Battle Republic, I thought would be a cool little story.
I actually remember him, as we were playing, he started, humming and then singing the words Battle of the Republic, and just kind of improvising, so that kind of stuck, and, we ended up using that as the song name, and, kind of went away with that idea.
Well, Battle of the Republic's basically the story of a young, teenage kid that is caught somewhere in time in the future,
post-apocalyptic
future, and it's basically about, he finds out this new empire's taking over the world, and they're, kind of like a Nazi type thing, and he's trying to stop it, and it's a really good song, and the story is continued in the next song we would write and the next song we would record.
Our second song in the EP, which is also a follow-up after Battle of the Republic, is State of the Union. And basically, I got the idea from the band Three Doors Down and one of their songs. But State of the Union ended up being pretty epic and epic sounding, and a lot of the bass lines and just the whole feel of it.
Well, State of the Union is definitely our most epic song, and is usually our closing song for a gig because it's amazingly epic. The only thing is, I actually made a remastered version of it, and it sounded so much better because Nathan's guitar wasn't on the clean, great setting the whole time. It was on distortion. And we didn't have clean guitars, so I added like 3 tracks of good clean guitars to make an epic feel. Except I didn't save it, so when I got back to doing the voiceovers, because at the time my voice was like this, and I'd be like, State of the Union, but I'm like, State of the Union, so, I didn't save it, so we have to go with the original rough version, which also has an extraordinarily high bass, like, you won't mostly hear the bass in that, and the main computer we used to record actually died on us, so we can't go back and do it. And State of the Union remains one of our best songs, but one of the worst songs.
State of the Union.
we were just clowning around, and I made up this jungle sounding drum beat. It sounded kind of cool, but we didn't know how to put it in any songs.
So the song "You Think You're Tough," it really changed the direction of the band, and how like the songs we were doing before was kind of more 80s and 70s, and now the "You Think You're Tough" was more of a modern twist to it. So we'll cut it there.
You Think You're Tough was really a song about the bitches at high school, and I kind of set up a story like usual as kind of a background story that a guy, got cussed out by a girl and was hated, and he actually committed suicide, which is like the whole point of from the scene of the crime to the high school get out time. And that's the cheesiest line I've ever written because I couldn't find anything from the scene of the crime to something getting out time. It's the cheesiest line I ever wrote in my life, but the song is our best off the album, in my opinion. It's tied between State of the Union.
Ultimately, though, "You Think You're Tough" was definitely one of our best songs. I think it really captivated the soul.
Purgatory was our last and most uncreative song we did because it was basically almost a straight rip of Iron Maiden's Purgatory from 1981 from their album Killers. Well, basically, it's about, it's another story that would continue into being Phantom of the Criminal, which is our longest song to date, 10 minutes, 41 seconds. Anyway, Purgatory is about a kid that fell into the gang life and who would be trapped in purgatory upon, getting the prayers of people, and he tries to contact the girl, and he'll hunt her until people start praying for him to get up to heaven. The song is definitely one of the greatest sounding songs. A producing technique that I used was in the song having one guitar on the treble on one speaker. So imagine the speaker being right here. You would hear guitar on here, and then you'd hear the other guitar track on here with the rhythm thing. And it ended up being one of our greatest sounding songs. But the chorus was amazing, but thing is, it's almost identical to Iron Maiden. It's just barely identical, and that's why it's not really one of our popular songs. We haven't gotten any criticism for it yet, because we're not extremely big in Coatesville. Like, we're big, but we're not that big. So, on to that, Purgatory would be our last song on the EP.
Purgatory is probably my favorite song to play. That actually is my second favorite. Purgatory was just, I like the drums, I like the guitar, I like the way it sounds, the diverse parts. But on that note, I'd say my favorite song was this techno sounding thing that was just basically
this is known as future. I'll tell you my inner story while I'm in my purgatory. If you can see the signs and every single crime, I feel.
Well, in general, the EP was an okay album. The production wasn't that bad for an estimate of $0 because it was done in my basement with a computer program. The drums in that are electronic because you could just hook the thing up and everything will have its own sound. You won't need different microphones for different things. And to be honest, that electronic drum set, it was the only drum set we had. We're not that rich, we weren't like the previous band where guy had buttloads of money, So the EP was pretty good, but after a while, it was just a threesome. Well, a three-part band, and Nathan and I couldn't decide on who would play bass, so we thought it'd be time to put a new guy in.